Pixels.cool.
Welcome to you. This is explainer number 4 in the series Beginning 3D Modeling with uModeler. In this explainer, we'll create additional uModeler objects, add shapes to them, and learn how to rotate, scale, and move our objects. I'll start with a brand new Unity scene. Go to File, New Scene, select Basic URP, and click Create. Start by creating a new uModeler object, and add a new box to it exactly as we did in the previous explainer. Make sure to give every uModeler object in your project hierarchy a sensible name. Right click, rename. I'll call this Box 1. To put the box front and center in the viewport, press the F key on your keyboard. F is for focus. To zoom into and out of the scene, roll your mouse wheel forwards or backwards. Next, hold down the Alt key on your keyboard. Hold down your left mouse button and notice the pointer changes to an I shape. Hold down your left mouse button and move your mouse around to orbit around the selected object. This method works in most 3D software. You can see why it's best to use a keyboard and mouse to work efficiently. You may have noticed this orientation widget towards the top right. You can click on it to view the currently selected object perfectly from above, from any side, or from below. As we noted previously, I can add as many shapes as I want to a single uModeler object. For example, I'll add a cylinder to the current object using the usual drawing method. To prove the box and the cylinder are grouped in one object, click the uModeler Object Selection tool icon here. Next, click the Move tool. I can move the object in the X, Y, and Z axes as needed, and of course both shapes move as one combined object. This presents an obvious limitation. I can't resize, rotate, or move the box without the same thing happening to the cylinder. This is why you'll likely need more than one uModeler object in a single scene. To add a new separate uModeler object, make sure no existing objects are selected. Click the new uModeler object icon as before. I'll call this Cylinder 1. I'll add a cylinder to this object. Because it's a separate object, now I can select the cylinder on its own by clicking the Object Selection icon. To rotate a selected object, select the Rotate tool. Use the handles like this to rotate around the X, Y, and Z axes. To adjust the scale, select the Scale tool, and again use the individual handles to stretch or squash the object, or drag the central grey handle to scale all 3 dimensions at once. Remember, you can press the F key on your keyboard to put any selected object front and centre in the viewport. Once you're comfortable navigating the scene, moving, scaling and rotating objects, you already have the basics for a bright future in 3D modelling. Before continuing to the next explainer, practice creating and naming new uModeler objects, adding shapes to them, and scaling, rotating, and moving these shapes. In the next explainer, we'll introduce vertices, edges, and faces, and learn how to manipulate them to create our own unique 3D forms.
Pixels.cool.